owner operator, and when Friday gets here, you get your check and you're looking at it like, I don't know what happened. I ran a bunch of miles, I ran a lot of loads, but I didn't bring much money home. Well, I believe I know why, and I have a solution to your problem. So stay tuned to the video and make sure you stay to the end because I have a special treat for you. Let's get straight into it. Let's talk about cost per mile, right? What is cost per mile? Cost per mile is like figuring out how much it costs to drive your truck for 1 mile or 1,000 miles, okay? Why is it important? Well, there's so many different things, but knowing your cost per mile helps you understand how much money you need to make to cover your expenses and make a profit, all right? Time and time again, I see a lot of owner operators, they just do not know their numbers, all right? Who uses cost per mile? Well, owner operators, lease operators, and truck dispatchers use cost per mile to manage their business and make smart financial decisions, all right? Truck dispatchers definitely need to know this, and if you're an owner operator and a truck dispatcher, freight dispatcher, independent dispatcher approach you to dispatch your truck or dispatch your trucks, this is one of the questions that they definitely should ask is, what's your cost per mile? And let's run your numbers, right? If they don't, they just might be a, load booker, someone to just make a phone call and click a button, something like that. Not an actual freight dispatcher that understand logistics and how to run a business to help you flourish with your business, okay? How to calculate cost per mile? Well, the formula is pretty simple. We're going to go with basic math, basic numbers. We're not going to get too crazy, all right? So I go with monthly, your total cost per month divided by total miles driven in that month. And we're going to go all over averages, all right? For example, if your total cost for a month are $5,000 and you drive 10,000 miles, well, your cost per mile is going to be 50 cents, okay? So, once again, $5,000 per month, you run 10,000 miles in that month, your total cost per mile is going to be right at 50 cents a mile, all right? Components for, total cost, all right? Well, total cost includes fuel, maintenance, insurance, permits, and other expenses related to running your truck or your trucking business, all right? Here's some examples. We're going to go with average numbers. We're not going to go too crazy off to the deep end. We're just going to keep it basic. You know what I mean? These are numbers that I've seen myself, in the last 18 years of doing this, right? So monthly expense for a truck note is going to average in the middle, right at $1,500 for a truck note, okay? Some pay higher, some pay less, but right at an average is going to be $1,500 per month. That'll get you if you're going through a truck finance company, I'm not talking about if you went through a credit union or something like that. The average person is gonna finance the equipment through equipment financing, all right? They're going to hit you with a nice penny for the finance rate, all right? So you can get you anywhere from 30 to 50 grand for some equipment. Is going to cost you about $1,500 a month, all right? Trailer payment is going to be about, $1,000 a month. As you know, if you watch my channel, I'm in the, oversized and heavy haul space, right? With my trucks. So, a flatbed / step deck is going to be anywhere from like 800 to 1,000, depending on what year, and you got ramps and all that. But, RGNs go all the way up to 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 a month. We got them anywhere from 2,000 to 3,000 a month that we pay for ours. All right. Truck insurance, if you got your own authority, is going to be about $2,000 a month. All right. Some pay less, some pay more, but we're just going to go with $2,000. Okay. And a load board, a good, decent load board like I have, truck stop is going to be, right at $160 a month, right? That's going to give you the live alerts. It's going to give you, live updates. It's going to give you rate per mile when you're looking at the load, so you don't have to type in anything or go on your phone and calculate anything. It's going to be right there in your face, okay? So that's gonna be your monthly. We let's call that guaranteed expenses, right? No matter what, that's what it costs to run your company over and over again. And then you're gonna have something called generated expenses. Okay, generated expenses is something that you're gonna generate these expenses as you run, basically as you run your business, most likely as you run the truck. All right, so the average truck, new truck, is gonna get anywhere from, let's say, 7 to 9, maybe 10 miles per gallon. But most trucks, they're gonna get anywhere from 5 to 7. I went with 6. I do my numbers really, really tight, and when I do my numbers really, really tight, that just helps me make sure I have a good amount of profit left over. Right now, you can add or take away as much as you like. These numbers are not guaranteed for everybody. Okay, so national average for fuel is going to be right at $4 a gallon. All right, fuel is cheap, is higher, in the northeast corner, PA, stuff like that, Maryland, California is going to be super high, of course. But coming down south, Louisiana, Texas, gonna be a lot cheaper. You know what I mean? So we're gonna put that right at 66 cents a mile. Okay, for fuel, that's how much it costs to run your truck, just for fuel. All right, if you 6 miles a gallon, $4, $4 a gallon. Okay, you might have a driver, you might not have a driver, right? But I would say still put that expense to the side. All right, average truck driver makes anywhere, right around 60 cents a mile. Okay. Yes, they got some make less, some make more. But let's just say 60 cents a mile, right? On average. I mean, right? So in maintenance, which is a big one that a lot of people don't, add into the expense, but it's right at 10 cents per mile. Okay. Um, so that's gonna be your generated expenses, and then you got your monthly expenses. Then you got a lot of miscellaneous stuff like scale tickets, permits, escorts, extra insurance. Like for example, a lot of loads that we pull or guys that we dispatch for, they pull. A lot of times they need like what's called an insurance rider, which is your normal, on average, cargo insurance is gonna be right at 100,000 for cargo insurance, but sometimes they want 200, 300, 400, 500,000, sometimes a million, and you can get insurance specifically for that one load, right? And dunnage and just extra stuff that you might generate in that month. So we're not gonna add that in there, but once again, you can add and take away as much as you would like, right? So after that, let's do the numbers, right? So your monthly total expenses comes out to be right at $4,660 per month, right? And if you run 12,000 miles a month, which is right at 3,000 miles a week, right? That equals 38 cents a mile, all right? That's a monthly fixed expense, But then you have your generated expenses, okay? That's gonna be right at $1.36 a mile, all right? When you calculate all that together, right? So now what do we have? Monthly expense, and then we have added to generated expense equals cost per mile, which is right at 174 a mile. $1.74 a mile. So let's just say, right at, $1.75, just round it off, right? When you get the call, you call up on a load and it's $2 a mile. Well, you're only making 25% profit. Okay. You know that straight out the gate. All right. You don't have to do too much serious thinking about that or anything like that. So once you get this number, you'll be better at negotiating loads because you'll just come off the top of your head. You won't even look at certain loads because you already know that you're not making that much money off of it, or it has you, negative on that load or whatever. And guess what? This doesn't apply for everybody, right? Some people don't have truck notes or trailer notes, right? And if they do, maybe they're not paying that much for the equipment. Or some people have more expenses for the equipment, right? That's higher, right? And their numbers change. But this is basically a basic formula on how to calculate your cost per mile, right? And tips for managing your cost per mile is, number one, find you some cheaper fuel. All right. Find a way to save on fuel. All right. You know, get you a fuel card or a couple fuel cards. We have a couple fuel cards over here. Get you a couple fuel cards that's gonna, save every gallon, or pay with your fuel with a credit card to get you some cash back, get you some points, go on some nice vacation stuff like that, right? But definitely do that. That's a big one. All right. Tip number 2 is keep equipment payments as low as possible. Do not go out there buying high price equipment. Just don't do it. Right? You will be out of business before you even start business. Okay. Really, really, run your numbers. You know what I mean? My rule of thumb is this: when I purchase equipment, I look at, can I pay the equipment when it doesn't work? I don't look at how much money it's gonna make. And if for some reason equipment doesn't work for at least 2 weeks to a month, would that put me in a very serious bind with paying it? Right? That's how I do mine. You choose to do yours however you do yours, right? And last but not least, breakdowns. Listen, breakdowns will bankrupt your company. You and your company. Your company, and your family. All right. It can mess you up. All right. So please purchase some good equipment and maintain your equipment. All right. Numbers don't lie. You understand what I'm saying? So Marco with another video, Trucking the Cash Flow. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button. If you would like to see more videos like this, leave a comment below. Let me know how you enjoyed the video or you didn't enjoy the video. And hit the subscribe button, right? And if you want this slideshow, or you need help with, coming up with your cost per mile, and you need some help with dispatching, we do provide dispatching services, right? You can go on ahead and just text 985-326-1699, and we'll get right back with you to serve you with any issue or problems that you have. All right, peace.